Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Mark Robison of the Reno Gazette Journal. I moderate a debate on Washoe County Commission District 2 between Mike Clark, the Republican, and Keith Lockhard, the Democrat. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
A bird's eye captures its surroundings at different heights. At Brian Culpa Photography, we can make your imagination soar over buildings, parks, cityscapes, and beyond. Brian's images tell the story and get the job done. If you need a new perspective to tell your story, contact Brian today. Brian Culpa Photography. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're delighted to have another debate on the program today, and I'm joined by Mark Robison, who is with the Reno Gazette Journal and does a wonderful job, by the way. And we're debating Washoe County Commission District 2. Mike Clark is currently the Washoe County Assessor, and he's the Republican. Keith Lockhard is retired, but spent 40 years as a civil traffic and transportation engineer for city and county governments. So welcome to you both, and we look forward to a great debate. We've set up the terms of the debate, so let's launch right in.
Okay, based on the coin tossed, Mike, the first question goes to you. And so, if given the opportunity to vote whether Washoe County switches to the hand counting of ballots and away from voting machines, will you vote in favor of switching to hand counting of ballots?
I think hand counting is appropriate at certain times. It just depends on the certain situation, yes.
Okay. And Keith,
I
what would you do?
For a county this size, hand counting is archaic. That takes us back to about 1840 in terms of technology. Our ballots today are both electronic and printed, and there is full security for voting and balloting in Washoe County.
All right, and I'd like to just follow up, and then we can get this out of the way. So do you have confidence in the election system that we have in place now with the voting machines? And you're not looking, I would hope, at filing lawsuits before the election even occurs?
I'm not looking to file any lawsuits, but as the assessor, it's very important to have accurate rolls. The assessor's rolls, I think, are probably 99% accurate. I think the treasurer's rolls are very accurate. I can assure you that the treasurer can find anybody that taxes are owed. I don't know about the foundational basis for the rolls, the voter rolls. I think that they could be cleaned up. I think that there's people maybe on the rolls that shouldn't be there. I think that the medical examiner's got information that should be shared. I think the assessor's got information that should be shared. I think the treasurer has information that should be shared with the registrar of voters to clean up the rolls, to make sure that there's accuracy there. I think the public has a right to have that knowledge that we have accurate rolls. So I would, instead of asking about counting the ballots by hand, I think the foundational basis is the voter rolls. Let's make sure those are accurate. If they're accurate, they should be shared with everybody. What I see the county doing is saying, we're right, you're wrong, and how dare you ask that? I'd like to see some evidence that the rolls are accurate.
But you have seen everybody from the Secretary of State on down throughout the counties and the cities all saying that, you know, that we have integrity within our election system. And people that shouldn't have voted, which there was a case of one that was actually confirmed, haven't actually occurred.
Well, we've also seen evidence that there's multiple registered voters at businesses, which is not allowed. There's numerous situations that I've heard of where vacant lots have got people registered to vote. I'd just like to look at that. If that's accurate, let's clean it up. If it's
okay, so you're not saying it's accurate. You're saying that that's what you've heard,
right,
but you don't have evidence to show it.
I'm not in that position yet, but if I get in the position, then one of the first things I'll do is audit those voter rolls.
Okay, Keith, you want to rebut that?
There have been numerous lawsuits against the company that manufactures the voting machines, and all of those have failed. That it's been demonstrated that the machines work properly in the voting process. And there were numerous challenges in the past election that were raised. None of those produced any meaningful results that there was any problem with the voting process in Nevada 2 years ago. I'm satisfied with what was done 2 years ago, and I am pleased that we will have the leadership in the county and in the state with the voting process coming up in a few months.
All right, do you have anything to add?
Sure. I didn't mention anything about a machine. I didn't mention anything about courts. I'm talking about accuracy of the rolls. That's the foundational basis of all voting. You can hand count, you can use a machine, you can do anything you want to as long as the foundational basis is accurate. I understand it's not accurate. That's what I hear. And until proven differently, I think the question is, are they accurate rolls?
All right, let's move on. Keith, growth is obviously going to be the biggest issue for the district. What are your thoughts on growth? Should we allow the growth as it's been going to continue? Should we be looking to limit growth? There are some that say that if you're not growing, you're falling behind. What's your position?
People are concerned about growth because they see the buildings, they see the traffic, they see vacant land that where they used to have a view is disappearing. But private property owners have the right to develop their land, and county government, city government regulate that. It needs to be done in a proper, balanced manner with appropriate conditions, and we need to have an appropriate amount of economic growth and development, because that is where our revenue comes from that sustains the services that we provide to the people through Washoe County. Think of the communities in the east that have lost population, that have become derelict, and the not having the tax revenue is totally detrimental to being able to provide community services.
You want to take the same question? What's your position on growth?
Well, we need sustainable growth. We need to address the issues with water and pollution and transportation. So, you know, we need growth. People are used to living indoors. We also, I don't think we can build our way out of the housing shortage. We've got a housing shortage here. As the assessor, I can look back to the rolls and when we had our economic downturn here for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. We used to build about 3,000 single-family homes on a regular basis. During that time, an 8-year period, we did not build the houses that way. So there's about 20 to 24,000 homes that never got built. We can't get in a time machine and go back and build those properties, but we didn't have a building going on here for a number of years, so we're down. We've got numbers are down, and then when that happened, the tradespeople left the area. The plasterers, the roofers, the framers, the electricians. So now we've got a housing shortage. We've got worker shortage, skilled craftsmen, tradesmen, union people that build houses, and they're not available. And now we've got the prices of materials are through the roof. I was talking to a builder the other day. He said it used to be the base price just for the lumber on building as property about $25,000. Now it's over $60,000. So
okay, let me pause you there.
Sure.
and give you 30 seconds to rebut there.
The last several years of my long career with the city of Reno, I managed and regulated new development, and I started the regional road impact fee system that results in developers paying for major roadway improvements. I acted in the public interest to assure that new development was properly conditioned, that their impacts were mitigated by the conditions we placed on them.
All right, Mark?
Okay, and so Mike, going along that same topic, what can the Washoe County Commission do, or should it do anything to incentivize the building of more affordable housing and starter homes?
Well, I'm not a commissioner yet, but if I'm lucky enough to make that transition, I'd like to look at the actual cost that it costs the developers to for their permits, for their inspections. I'd like to see if we can streamline the permitting process. Builders tell me now it's anywhere from 3 to 5 years from the conception of a development till they build it, and time is money, and that gets passed along to the consumer. So if we can streamline that process and stay within the laws and make sure that all the building codes are met, I think that's one of the ways you can save money and help this development issue transition into a smoother flow if we can shorten that time.
Keith?
Well, I've done that with the City of Reno and our Community Development Department. We went through all of our procedures to shorten those procedures, make it easier for developers to move through the process, because time is money for those builders. And we developed our processes that did not unduly delay them, but at the same time, we still protected the public interest through our review process.
Do you want to comment on that?
Well, he may have tried to streamline the building process or the permitting process, but the problem still remains the same. If you talk to any builder, one of their biggest drawbacks to any development is time, and time in the planning and the permitting process. So we need to streamline it even further.
Okay, do you have any last comment on there? About 10 seconds. No, it seems like you're good. Okay, let's take a break. We'll continue with our debate for Washoe County Commission District 2 after this timeout.
For now, abortion is legal in Nevada. But Adam Laxalt wants to change that. He called Roe versus Wade a joke.
Roe v. Wade was always a joke.
Electing Adam Laxalt means giving Mitch McConnell the power to pass a nationwide ban on abortion that would overturn Nevada's abortion protections. Adam Laxalt has shown us who he is on abortion. We should believe him. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
The 10th annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County, your RTC, our community, Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you, University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, compassion, accountability, integrity, respect, the Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada, and NV Energy. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, along with Mark Robison of the Reno Gazette Journal, we're debating Washoe County Commission District 2. The incumbent at this time is Bob Lucy.
Okay, Keith, you're up next. And so a reader named Nancy asked me to ask in this debate, what would you do to make Washoe County safer?
The crime in Washoe County is a concern to people, but the sheriff is independently elected and manages the sheriff's department independent of the Washoe County Commission. The Washoe County Commission has one employee, the county manager, and I'm assuming that deals with crime. The safety that may be of concern may be related to traffic safety. I managed traffic safety programs both with the City of Reno and other jurisdictions to reduce injuries and deaths. I don't know if that relates to fire safety. That's my number one concern, is responding to the threat of wildfires that our Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District and our emergency services providers need seamless communication. They need proper training. They need the appropriate equipment, and they need adequate staffing. So she wasn't specific as to safety, so I'm not sure if that was, crime, traffic, wildfire threat, or maybe falling down in your home.
Okay, stand by. Go ahead.
Mike?
As far as safety, public safety, I support law enforcement as much as possible. I think we need more sheriffs on the beat. I think we need more firefighters out there. So I think we need to hire professional law enforcement folks to patrol and just more bodies on the street. I mean, the population has grown tremendously around here. I just had a meeting last night. I was talking with Pete Sarraza, and he said that the level of law enforcement is back to 1988. So apparently we don't have enough law enforcement out there patrolling the street. So the crime rate is up. I was downtown on Sunday myself and heard gunshots and walked across the river, and there was a dead person laying right on the City Hall steps. So that's a concern. That's a concern for folks here. The crime rate is, I think, going through the roof. I don't think the folks feel comfortable going to downtown areas, and we need to address that.
All right, and I will point out that the sheriff is running for re-election without any opposition, so it seems like the general populace didn't want to put anybody else up against him. Let's talk about sewer, Mike. If we're going to have an issue with growth, sewer is going to be the biggest thing to stop it. What are your thoughts on how we should fund expansion of the sewer treatment plant or do other things to be able to allow growth to continue?
Well, it's our responsibility to return water back to the Truckee River as clean as when we take it out, and I don't think that's happening. So sewer treatment plants are going to be needed to clean up that water.
Excuse me, may I just interrupt for a second? So you don't feel that the current sewer plant operation is working adequately at this time? Because I don't see complaints from the tribe.
Well, I don't think that if we're going to have future growth, we're going to have more capacity.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Greater capacity if we're going to continue to have growth. So that is an issue. We need to figure out how to fund that.
And your thoughts on that? Because that will be right in your lap.
Sure. Well, it's going to be funded by growth and the developer fees and so forth, but we need to sharpen our pencil on a lot of budget items and see how we can find the funds to do what we need to do.
It's a huge billion-dollar project.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not. Don't you think that the general populace is going to have to contribute as well?
Well, we'll figure out how to do it.
Okay. Same question to you.
Well, as a professional engineer with the city of Reno, that was always an issue with new development. And of course, the treatment plant by the Truckee River was operated under a joint powers agreement. I knew the people who operated that, and it involves a considerable amount of physical improvements that one, we might expect federal funding for, but also on the development side, those developers pay a specific fee before they build their home for sewage treatment, and that involves the major improvements that are necessary consistent with that new development.
Okay, but it appears from all my discussions with elected officials that the money is not sufficient to do the expansion that's needed to continue the growth in the area, which is continuing to be staggering.
Then it's an issue that we'll be dealing with. This is a element of community need, and if I'm elected to the commission as an engineer, I'm able to understand the kind of needs and look at how we do move toward achieving funding for it, because I've done that before in looking at how we got funding for our library system to improve their facilities when there was no other particular source to do it.
Let's take one more break. We'll be back with our debate after this timeout. I'm here at the Carson Valley Inn in Minden with Joey Whitaker, and you've got a lot of convention space and meeting breakout space for people. Tell us about what's available.
Well, we can handle a group up to about 250, and anywhere as small as 10 or 15. So it really depends on what you're looking for, what the customer's looking for. We're open to anything. It's a beautiful drive, and if you live in South Reno, it's probably about 30-35 minutes, so it's real easy to get to. It's not a long way to get away to the Carson Valley Inn.
Everyone is talking about opioids, but they're not the only drugs that can be harmful if taken in large quantities or not as prescribed. You also need to be aware of side effects from anxiety drugs, muscle relaxants, sleep aids, and stimulants. Mixing prescription drugs with other drugs or alcohol can be dangerous. If you take an Ambien with a glass of wine, it may be enough to stop you from breathing. Prescribed drugs can be just as dangerous as illegal drugs. Take medications only as directed.
With Nevada's only transplant center and verified burn center, the science is here. With award-winning cardiologist and the state's only dedicated heart failure clinic, the talent is here. With Nevada's most advanced robotic surgery, the technology is here. And with the Silver State's only designated pediatric trauma center, hope is here. All because we are here. UMC.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
I'm back on Nevada Newsmakers along with Mark Robison, who is with the Reno Gazette Journal. We're debating with the Washoe County Commission District 2 candidates, Mike Clark and Keith Lockhard.
Okay, Keith, the county is now fully in charge of the emergency shelter for people who are homeless in our community. What would you seek to change regarding how the county handles homelessness?
Well, I think that is still a work in progress. And what we are going to see on October 25th is that the Washoe County Board of Commissioners is going to receive a full report on homelessness and how the care center is operating. I don't think it's a point in time that I can say this is what the fix is for that, for that particular improvement. We've seen homeless numbers double in the past year. That in June, if I have the numbers correct, 768 beds were occupied, and there were only 28 20 beds available. It's a serious issue, but the functioning is correct in sense of working to get those people clean, sober, ready for employment, that they're following the rules, because the alternative is worse.
I'm going to have to hold you to time there just because we are running out. So Mike, your response to the same question.
My response is I'm not sure that the CARES campus is being run properly.
Because? Because
of the folks that are out on the streets, the folks that I've talked to are afraid to go there. They think this is a real survival of the fittest there. I think that the drug sales, the violence, I think the county should have ways to clean that up and make sure that it's a safe place to go. If you're trying to get people off the streets and you're trying to send them to a place that they don't feel safe, you're going to have a lot of reluctance of folks going there.
Isn't that the responsibility of the Sheriff's Department or RPD?
The responsibility, I think that they have, I understand, security guards there instead of actual law enforcement. And what I hear is the folks are afraid to go there. We've got about somewhere around 1,850 to 2,000 homeless people supposedly in our area. I don't know if that's an accurate census or not. We're spending about $60 or $70 million has been spent on the homeless, and it's only worse now than it was before.
And that's where we have to call time.
Okay.
Thank you both very much for participating. Good luck on the campaign trail, and we'll see who comes out the winner on Election Day. Thank you both very much, and thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Thanks.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Ahern Rentals began as Signal Gas Station on Las Vegas Boulevard. Founder John Ahern grew the business by offering rentals. His son Don built on John's legacy, growing Ahern Rentals into the largest independently owned American rental company with 89 locations in 30 states. Don also brought his experience and vision to equipment manufacturing with Extreme Manufacturing and Snorkel. Today, Ahern Rentals continues to bring its family values to a new generation. Learn more at ahern.com.
The 10th annual Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington is brought to you by the Regional Transportation Commission of Washoe County, your RTC, our community. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you. University Medical Center of Southern Nevada. Compassion, accountability, integrity, respect. The Nevada Mining Association, mining a better future for Nevada. And NV Energy. NV Energy proudly serves Nevada, providing electricity to 2.4 million electric customers.
Just want to say a quick thank you to all of our sponsors for Nevada Newsmakers Goes to Washington. Without their help, we would never be able to do it. So thank you to all of you, and please come back next year and sponsor us again. Thanks again for the help.